Okay, good day, everybody. I'm Jos van der Laan from Simac. Together with my colleague Joska, we will take you to a journey of SAP Focused Run at Simac ITNL. So we have a co-host and me as a host to give you the learnings of SAP Focused Run and how we look at the future of Focused Run. I will hand over now to Joska.
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you, Jos, for the brief introduction. So I will just briefly introduce Simac ITNL to you. After that, Jos will take you through SAP Focused Run at our company and the steps that we've taken. What is Focused Run as a service? And after that, I will end this session with how we see the future of SAP Focused Run at Simac. So first of all, in this infographic, I will introduce our company to you. As you can see, it's quite much. Don't worry, won't take you through all of it. I just want to highlight some of the most important aspects. So we as Simac ITNL are a managed service provider. And not only that, we are also a multi-cloud provider. As you can see, we offer Cloud Next, Cloud Power and Cloud Exchange, which means that we have several customers running in a different kind of clouds. In the middle, you can also see that we are active in different kind of sectors. We are active in the healthcare services and retail services, but also in public, industry, and finance. Everything around the middle shows not only what makes us Simac ITNL, but also how we've grown and why we are strong in what we do. So first of all, we've grown a lot over the past few years. That doesn't only mean that we have a financial stable basis, it also gives us room for investments. And part of these investments can go to innovation, which is also the reason why we can provide and present this innovative concept of Focused Run as a service to you. We also believe that everything that we don't do or don't have ourselves, we get those from strong collaborations with our partners. Of course, we have a partnership with SAP, but also with Cisco, IBM, and you can see some others on the top right. As Simac ITNL, we have our own security operations center, which we validate with certificates that we achieve. We have certificates in quality and information security and some others. All of this makes that we have a very good customer relationship. You could also say that our good customer relationship has ensured that we've grown so much over the past few years. And as you can see in the bottom right, we have we have 84 customers, of which have stayed with us for 3 years or even longer. So as I just mentioned, we are active in several sectors, and to make sure that we can provide high quality services and products in those sectors, we have 5 general teams or departments, you could say, to make sure that we enable us ourselves. And today we're here as business applications to present to you a Focused Run as a service, and Jos will dive deeper on that now.
Two years ago, in 2019, Simac has bought SAP Focused Run to maintain and give support and run support for their SAP systems. Before starting with Focused Run, we used Xandria monitoring, and as part of the buy-in of HMB, we want to be a successor in ALM, and that is why we bought SAP Focused Run. Last year at the summit, we also give the presentation, and you can see the growth we have made since then. So we grow from 5 customers to 21 customers that are monitored by SAP Focused Run. Last year we had 58 systems, and at this moment we are over 240 systems, connected SAP systems that are monitored daily for our customers in the Focused Run. Also in the Netherlands, we have established a technical expert meeting with a lot of customers in the Netherlands. Main focus of that meeting is technical expert, and what you see in time is that we move from technical experts and the subjects that we went to SAP Focused Run, because it is a very interesting topic in the Netherlands. So every month we have a technical meeting. We are the chairman and lead the meetings, and we talk discussions and problems and share lessons learned with each other in that meeting. Also, we extended and help a large Dutch customer, presented last year. It is a customer of us, a smaller customer, but they have their own Focused Run implementation. And together with my people and their people, we learn from each other. And every 2 months we catch up. And hey, how are you doing? Did you see some things, or did you run into problems? It's very nice to do. And also after the last summit, we helped a big customer that has get in contact with us from how are you using it? How can we use it? And can you be a data bank or a knowledge base for us if we implement it by ourselves? And of course, we say yes to that customer. So we make a grow on customers and a very big grow on connected systems. Indeed, we are proud in the cloud. We are a multi-cloud service provider. So we started Focused Run on the customers that run on our cloud power. That's based on IBM systems. And afterwards, we have now customers that are on their own cloud. We have customers that are on Azure, and we are do now the preparations to connect systems in AWS. So we are proud to be in the cloud. The usage, we extended over the year, the last year, the usage of the scenarios. We started with 5 scenarios, and new at this moment, we have all usage, all components, all parts of SAP Focused Run in place. And after finishing the last component and discussing with customers and showing them what we are doing with Focused Run, we ran into the discussion because one client asked me, hey, it's nice to see that you have the latest monitoring system of SAP in place, but how can you help me? Because I'm a customer of you, but yeah, I have my own hardware. I have my own subsystem in place in my own data center. And for me, it's not relevant that I can buy SAP Focused Run. Then we ran into the idea what I want to explain and what I want to share with you, because after that we have talked to each other, and then Focused Run as a service was born, shortened by FRAS, SAP Focused Run as a service. What does that mean? That means that we offer customers that not running in our system, we offer them, connect your subsystems to our system or our Focused Run system. You can run from base scenarios, or you can expand it with expanding modules. We explain it a little bit later. We have 2 versions of our Focused Run as a service. It is not technical application management inside, but if the customer wants it, we can offer a separate offer of technical application managers. The service is that we get connections to the customer systems. So we do the monitoring, and if there is something wrong in the monitoring, we can share the alerts and the events with them. If in the future said the customer, please do it for me, we also can do it in a separate offer. What are the 2 offers we deliver if a customer wants something from us? We have the base and we have the expanded extension. We have Run as a base, and what's in it? You can read it, infrastructure administration, system monitoring with templates which are available from SAP or created by ourselves, the IT calendar, work mode management, root cause analysis, the dashboards, so we can, the traffic lights, we can see the traffic lights, we can see the alerting, which system is affected, and we have the alert management. If that is not enough, or if a customer wants more, we can expand it with the second part, and that are the extensions. That can be the configuration and security, the health check, open component monitoring, integration monitoring of the interfaces, job monitoring, and user monitoring. So these are the 2 bases that we separate priced and can offer to customers that have their own systems in their own data center, but can use our SAP Focused Run. It's very nice to do. It was also discussed with Stefan Laar and some colleagues of Stefan in Germany, and I hope a lot of customers will join us and we can help them with the excellent monitoring that is coming from SAP Focused Run. We have a future site, and Joska will explain what we see in the future.
Yes, so to talk a bit about the future, we first have to go back a little bit, because in 2019, we've added HMB to our portfolio. And for us, this meant that we closed our circle of customer services. It completed our whole picture and we could provide more than we already did. Furthermore, SAP Solution Manager really still remains the cornerstone of our HLM, and therefore we also extended our vision as we still wanted to grow and innovate. We did that by focusing on four important topics and also by engaging in partnerships. So first of all, of course, we focused on Focused Run as a service, but we're also looking how can we provide this service for our cloud customers. Then we want to make sure that our cloud ALM knowledge is up to date, but we also want to gain first experiences. We want to make sure that we don't only stay current, we can also be a front runner and keep innovating on anything around cloud ALM. We're also looking how can we help customers that are implementing Focus Build, how can we guide them through this implementation process by Focus Build coaching for S/4HANA. And we're also focusing on SAP landscape management. And lastly, as we want to expand our portfolio, we've engaged in partnerships. We did this with Protect4S to ensure that we keep our security up to date and also that we can provide security to our customers. Security is very hot to say so right now, as you can see that currently in our environment, there are a lot of attacks on large companies, and we want to make sure that we can help our customers to prevent that and to monitor that as well. And we signed a partnership with Tricentis for test automation. And such partnerships really show that the vision that I already told you in the beginning, those things that we can do ourselves, we get to make sure that we really stay strong in the services and products that we provide. So this makes that we feel and we see that Simac ITNL is the SAP HLM partner in the Benelux. And of course, we also offer our services in EMEA. So on behalf of Jos and myself, I would like to thank you kindly for your time and participating in this session. We hope that you've enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, feel free to either contact me or Jos via the email addresses that you can see below. We hope that you've enjoyed the summit so far and that you will enjoy the rest of the couple of hours that this summit will still last. Thank you very much.
George, just give me a hint if you can see my screen, so I will start.
Yes, I can see your screen, Gurpreet. It looks good.
Okay, thank you. So good afternoon from my side as well. I'm Gurpreet Singh, apart from SAP Enterprise Cloud Services Close Delivery Team. And the part of today's presentation from me is SAP Focused Run, which is used in our SAP Enterprise Cloud Services, which is one of the largest private cloud for the customers. In the next upcoming slides, I will share much more details about this. For now, I would like to emphasize on this disclaimer. I think it's important to mention that this presentation is quite confidential and proprietary to SAP, and please do not share it externally without the permission from the SAP. Okay, SAP Enterprise Cloud Services. This is our unit, who we are and what we do. As you see already the numbers on the right side, this tells in itself a success story. So we are around 2,000 customers, which we host on the S4 private cloud. And we have around 40,000 customer systems, business systems, which we run inside our unit. And it's also worth to mention that the 60% of our customers are running on the hyperscalers. So what we do? So our primary focus on this enterprise cloud services is to transform the customer from on-prem to the cloud world. We stay with the customer for this whole cloud journey, and we work with them for the S/4HANA adoption. We run the intelligent enterprise, means we really enable our customers to be intelligent, to use this intelligent enterprise as well. With the help of SAP HANA Enterprise Cloud and SAP Cloud Application Services, we offer our customers a complete solution as a service on the SAP products, which is running in any of the preferred infrastructure from the customer side. Last but not the least, SAP Enterprise Cloud Services runs the S/4HANA Private Cloud Edition, which is the centerpiece of the program Rise with SAP. Just to wrap it up, so if you see, so HANA Enterprise Clouds, it builds the systems on the customer preferred infrastructure, which is either SAP Data Center, or it can be any of the major hyperscalers. It can be Microsoft Azure, AWS, or Google Cloud. And then SAP Enterprise Cloud takes care of the whole stack, from the infrastructure to the operating system to the database. Mainly we have the HANA database and also the ABAP platform, the SAP basis part. With the help of SAP Cloud Application Services, we do the complete application management for the customers. This is more or less, yeah, a part what we do in the SAP Enterprise Cloud Services. And moving to the next slide, the scope of monitoring. As you see already in the last slide, so we do the complete management of the whole stack for the customers, from the data center to the application to the business processes as well. So we manage this whole part. And monitoring for the customers is quite important for us. Once the customer is onboarded, the system is set up, our operations teams regularly monitor this all alerts from the customer infrastructure to the application 24/7. And we have this as a part of the standard monitoring scope, which is by default covered. If you see on the top, the business process and application, which are quite personal to the customer. So this is not part of the standard monitoring, but still this part is also covered with the help of application services. We do this as well. Yeah. Moving to the next slide. So you already see, so we are quite big in numbers, number of customers, number of customer systems, and also running in SAP data center and also in the hyperscalers as well. So we have a diverse monitoring landscape as well. So if you see in the middle, so these are our primary, or let's say primarily the monitoring tools. Yeah. The first one, which is the primary monitoring tool for our application and database, is the SAP Focused Run. This is where we are today. Yeah. So we use SAP Focused Run as the primary monitoring tool. It covers a large portfolio of all the applications which is supported by the ECS. This is highly automated with all our processes. We have integrated SAP Focused Run with our alert inbox where the operations teams work. It gives, for example, for any alert, the guided procedure for the operations team to look into it, what is about, what this alert is. So they take the actions to fix it. There are automated reaction procedures which are integrated. There is a very high degree of automation which is enabled, and then more or less, yeah, so what comes out of it, it's then taken care by the operations team for the customer systems to run effectively and most of the time. Then in the middle, you see the Izinga. So this is one of our secondary tool, secondary monitoring tool, also for the application and database. We have this in place because in case of any planned, unplanned downtime, which happens for the primary monitoring tool, we still have to monitor our customer systems. So we use this Izinga as a backup solution. And in addition, if there is something which is not yet enabled in the SAP Focused Run as a solution for the monitoring, we do the availability monitoring in Izinga for these systems as well. As you see in the last part, which is the Prometheus monitoring. So this is mainly used for our compute storage network on the infrastructure side. And then this alerts been also monitored for the SAP internal data center by the operations team. And you can also see all these monitoring tools are integrated in the bottom to the alert inbox, which is our service provider cockpit, and the operations team work in the alert inbox 24/7 to monitor all the customer systems. As you see here, yeah, so Focused Run is our primary, highly automated, and one of the most used monitoring tool. Yeah, so where the operations team rely the most. So in the next slide, I will show you so how this been structured for the ECS, Enterprise Cloud Services for us. So we are using the single Focused Run systems. If you see, we have 2,000 customers, around 45,000 technical systems, which we support for these customers. We use the single reference Focused Run system, which is then connecting to all these customer systems, and we do this monitoring. You can already see here, so it's also distributed geographically. So we cover around 28 locations for now with the single reference system, which is then used for the monitoring. And the number of alerts, yeah, so because we have quite big number of SAP systems, there is also number of quite high number of alerts, around about 30,000 alerts, which been processed coming from the F-Run Focus Run to the service provider cockpit for the operations team to work. As we are growing very fast and also the number of systems are increasing, the number of alerts are also expected to be increased based on the situations. Yeah. So last year in our unit, Enterprise Cloud Services, we decided how we can control this number as well. So if these numbers keep on increasing, so we have to really see what are the points which can be optimized, where we can basically take some actions now to reduce this number, and which can also release some load on the operations team and give the better quality to the customers as well. In the next upcoming slide, I will show you of one POC which we have done with the SAP Focused Run team about the alert correlation. So this is was done already the last year, the POC part, and I will just show you a little bit scenarios how this can help. And this is what we discussed with SAP Focused Run development team, and they already put some part of it in the product as well. Yeah. If you see, this is the kind of any technical landscape for customer or system or typical SAP system landscape. We have a one system. Under system, we have the technical instances running, and each of technical instance may be having one VM or multiple VM, or one VM can host multiple technical instances as well. And these virtual machines underneath are running on the physical servers. So this is typical environment. Yeah. So how this system's been set up. So we have a physical server, virtual layer, then the instance build the technical system. And if you see, if we have any VM issue, right? So if one VM is getting down, the impact is propagated layer above and also on the technical system. So in real sense, so if we see the monitoring team, they are receiving more or less 3 alerts for one issue. So this is one of the things which we discussed. Okay, this should be addressed so that the team from the operation should not look into the 3 alerts, but only a single alert and then fix the issue. And scenario 2 may be also quite similar, but little bit extended. If you see one VM is hosting 2 different instances of 2 different technical system, so impact is little bit big. Yeah. So in this case, you already see the technical instance and the 2 systems can be impacted for one VM. Yeah. So which is then shared the services from this virtual machine. So in this scenario, we have seen, so there are 5 alerts, but out of it, 1 alert can also solve the issues. One layer below. So this is also quite interesting example, and I just do it so that you can visualize what can this lead to. Yeah. So if one physical server is getting down, just to simplify the scenario, I just show there are 3 VMs which are hosted in this physical server. So we have 3 VMs which are down. 3 VMs means then the technical instances which are running on this VM and the technical system. So here you can see for the one alert, there are already more than 8 or 9 alerts which are coming to the operations team. And we discussed how these scenarios can be improved for the operations, right? So they can work more effectively. So we set up a POC behind set some objectives. So one big objective was for us to reduce this overall alerts. Can we reduce these alerts to the operations team? So this was a one goal for us. And the second, also the important goal, because we don't want to compromise on the quality part. So if this correlation is happening, so this must happen on the technical correlation level. So for example, if there is anything which is not related, which is to one issue, so this must not be correlated. And also it's very important for the operations to get the root cause alert. So not this alert, in case of physical server down, if they are getting the technical instance down alert, it really doesn't help. So there should be a complete relationship based on this CMDB, or we say LMDB in SAP Focused Run. So we have this graph already in the LMDB. So in case of anything which is on the bottom layer, if this is impacting, so we should know the root cause, and the root cause should be then propagated to the operations team to fix, instead of then sending all these alerts. And also important was to have some timings around it, because in case anything which is still related via the CMDB graph, but if something opened today and one new alert which comes after 2 hours or maybe after 6 hours or next day, this may not be related. Yeah, so we have implemented some time-based limitation on this correlation as well, so that we can ensure so something which is coming from the CMDB is also related. Yeah, otherwise just combining or correlating, and we can miss some real issue. So that's also we want to avoid. Last but not least, the performance part. This is also been one of the objective for us. In case we do this correlation, how long it will take. Yeah. So if this will be real time, or if this is taking much longer, so we don't want to wait for any real issue for the customer to solve, and until this correlation happen and the root cause alert comes. So performance part was also a key objective. This must be as fast as possible. Yeah. So moving to the next slide, which is actually how we have implemented this POC. So this is also quite interesting. So on the left side, you see the SAP Focused Run system. We have already this running for 2,000 customers. So we want to also run a POC on this system. Was quite challenging and interesting, and we don't want to impact any of the productive operations which are running. So what we have done, so we took or the SAP Focused Run already developed a correlation engine within the SAP Focused Run, which is doing this all, which was part of objective. So they are correlation engine is correlating these alerts based on CMDB, based on the time, and then a body adapter which was developed is for the root cause identification. So in case of all these alerts which are correlated, the root cause alert identification happens based on certain rules, certain logic, and then the root cause alerts been forwarded. So we have done this enablement and this validation part in the validation landscape. We have 3-tier landscapes, so dev, QA, and also the productive. So we have done this validation part. Everything looks fine. Then we have actually created a completely separate validation body, which is separated from the productive body and also the validation queue, so that the productive operations run in parallel, and this testing can be also done. And we have actually done this testing for around 3 months, yeah. And we moved very slowly for the production. So we enabled 5 systems first, then to 20 to 3,000 productive systems for the customers, which we enabled on this SAP Focused Run correlation engine across the 3 different data centers, so that we see also what's the performance impact if this is coming from the different data centers. So in the end, we have around 1,000 clusters in the 3 months time, which been validated, and I will show you what were the results or what were the the findings after this, the correlation clusters been formed in the next slide. So there are the key message. So in 3 months for all the systems which we enabled this correlation, there was around 25,882 alerts, which was without correlation. With the help of correlation, the number was already decreased a lot. Yeah? So we had 4,668 alerts in the validation queue, which was validated out of this 25,882 alerts, which may be gone to the productive queue. So there are very big chances to improve it or improvement. About the findings, yeah. So the correlation cluster for most of the cases, yeah, it's using the dependency view, means the CMDB data model. So it's happening within the tree structure. If one hypervisor or one physical server is down, all the alerts which are correlated are based on this context family on the relationships. And also, as I said in the beginning, so we for the POC did the 1 hour time setting for the all alerts, which generates within this 1 hour window are correlated. Anything which is not in this window is not correlated. So this was also happening pretty fine. root cause alert. So this was also been determined in the validation body queue, and this was for most of the cases the correct root cause. 72% of the alert reduction, which was achieved as a part of POC, which was quite promising based on the different set of type of systems. We have a BAP system, or we have also the Bobj system, and we have the Java system. So different set of systems been mixed, and with this we have seen the 72% of alert reduction, which was quite possible. In the other side, yeah, so there were 2 to 3% of cases where actually there was known related alerts was also correlated. So this is the one action item we already working with the SAP Focused Run to improve it, so that we don't correlate anything which is non-technical related. Yeah, so this will improve the quality of the operations towards the customer. There are some efforts to do it on our side in the enterprise cloud services, because this means we have to redesign the whole process, how this happens today, because then we will be not receiving 8 or 9 alerts for one single physical system down, but we will be receiving only one alert, and how to handle this. Yeah. And then which all things to be checked. So this will be a one effort on our side, and also one effort on the alert inbox, which we have service provider cockpit, which is integrated to all monitoring tools for us. So this process has to be then redesigned there, so that operations team can work. And there is one also, the last finding, which was quite important for us from the beginning. It was part of the objective on the performance. So performance was for most of the cases good, but for some cases it took 10 minutes up to 1 hour for the correlation, which was anyhow not accepted. And this is the action item where F Focused Run team is already putting the effort to improve it. Okay, so this is all actually I want to share with you. With this, there's thank you from my side. If you have any questions, I am here so to answer for you. Thank you. George, back to you.
Thank you, Gurpreet. So we would now open this to questions and answers. Please post your questions using the Q&A panel, and Gurpreet and Yosh would be happy to answer them. So if you have any questions, you can put it in the Q&A panel. There is a question. Do you have any performance improvement tips you can share, especially when launching FRU and tiles? So anyone can answer this.
I would like to, but we don't have faced any performance problems. So maybe Guter can answer some question, but at the moment of the past 2 years, we didn't have any performance problems. So maybe the anonymous attendee can be more specific.
Maybe some statement from Gurpreet. Gurpreet, how is your impression about the Focused Run performance? If you call up the system monitoring, for example, for a huge amount of systems, how is your impression about this?
Yes, I think there are two parts of it, right? So one is when you launch the Focus Run, yeah, so the system itself and work within the tiles or within the tabs in the Focus Run. So as mentioned, yeah, so there are time to time I also experience some issues, but not anything which actually majorly has to be taken care. But most of the time we don't work directly in the Focus Run system, because this is integrated as part of the the alert cockpit in the service provider cockpit. So operation teams works there. So we also don't see any major performance topics which has to be directly addressed towards F-Run team. Maybe this question could be more specific to the Focus Run product team. So we can or someone can share this offline.
Okay. Thank you, Gurpreet. Thank you, Jos. Are there any other questions? If this is not the case, then I think we can close this session.
Yes, Stefan, if there are no more questions coming in, or maybe we can wait for about a minute. But I don't think there are any questions. I just checked the Q&A panel again. There are no fresh questions. So should we close the session?
Yes, I think we can close it. So I think we take it as a good sign. So everything has been explained in a way that there are no remaining questions open. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to you. Thank you very much, Gurpreet. Very informative session. And yes, George, I think with this, we could close it.
Thank you, Stefan.
Thank you, everyone.